All right. Sup, Exodus 3R. I don't see. I think you're a new person. But welcome, everyone on the welcome wagon. Let's see. What the hell is that? Just wait a little bit. Get people in before I go into stuff. How's everyone in here doing? Whoever's in here. Oh, thanks. Well, we can comment whatever you want. I guess I should. I don't know. The ask me anything at the end didn't really work because nobody really wanted to ask me anything. I guess I talk so much anyway that all my thoughts are already out there. You know, if I'm talking for 2 hours, it makes sense that nobody really has questions or shit afterwards because I've probably already talked about it, right? Makes sense. What up? You still on the wagon? Wait, which wagon are we talking about right now? I just finished the reason chapter in Phenomenology of Spirit. It's a little past the halfway point. In this version, it's 252 at 252 pages. That's the end, and so the end of the actual book for this edition is 467. So a little past the halfway point. But I think I'm gonna take a break. Obviously, I need to fucking finish. Stop being a little bitch. Stop being a little bitch. You know, smoking my depression away. I mean, I guess it's understandable. I don't really talk about my personal stuff too much because, you know, it's not really what people want to even hear or talk about, obviously. But a lot of pretty bad shit has happened to me over the past few years. It's almost like, you know, once I became a communist, it was also like, oh well, fuck you. The universe was like, fuck you. You know, there's totally unrelated things to my being a communist. By the way, it's not like, you know, I'm talking about like I became a communist and, you know, people disowned me. I mean that did happen, but not people I care about. But in any case, show goes on. Life goes on. I'm the type of person to bury myself in work as a trauma response. Probably not healthy in the long run, but got World War III to worry about, so you know, can't be dwelling too much upon that. I did watch all of BoJack Horseman pretty much this past week. For those curious about my mental state, that's kind of where it is. Sup, Core 6 Beaver, Andrew Yu, and Holy Cow, all redeeming and checking in their SARS. Yes, you can redeem. Everything is redeemable here. Actually, I saw that there was this like, you guys see this? Hold on. Let me try to pull it up. Like, I'm just like, what is this? So, I don't know if you guys can see that, but apparently Israeli restaurant introduces a new dish called toilet ice cream. It's interesting. And I made the quote tweet of it saying imported from their fullest support SARS. You can see that it's literally a toilet where the ice cream, I guess, looks like shit. Maybe that's the appeal, that you're eating shit in a toilet, but it is actually ice cream. I don't know if the people in, say, New Delhi could tell the difference between the ice cream and the real thing. And honestly, they might prefer the real thing. So kudos to Israelis for, yeah, I guess they found one thing they made that they can be proud of, or maybe not even. They stole it from the Jeets anyway. But yeah. I'm just curious since I'm measuring my own. Oh, you're talking about the wagon as in like the weed wagon. Yeah, I'm kind of like, due to those extenuating circumstances I talked about, I might be self-medicating, but I am trying to kind of like get back to being serious mode now. Now that I got April, I was like, you know what? Let me just have April, you know? And honestly, I probably said that about March too, but you know, long story short, shit happened. It's gonna be my, so hopefully I can get it more under control. The following month, I am definitely going to finish at least one fucking video. The WMAF Mind Virus video will come out in May. You can fucking take that to the bank. And if it isn't, then I don't know. I'll do it. I'll do it. You can take that to the bank. Maybe even a second video on top of that. The Kanye video. I gotta fucking still do some more reading for the Kanye video. I'm almost done with the readings, but I really wanted to just analyze Nietzsche, everything about Nietzsche, because I think that's the philosopher that has inspired Mr. West the most, and his love for Germany. And so I will be probably not doing that one if I do finish the WMA Fine Virus. I'll probably do the Better Call Saul video. But yeah, so that's my plan. Sorry to disappoint attritionalist, but I clearly fell off the wagon. Trying to get back on the wagon maybe, but yeah. Anyhow, toilet ice cream, is this the creative culture that Westoids Zionists boast about? Skibbity ice cream. I don't know what skibbity is. I just know it's like some Gen Alpha meme. But yes, that's exactly right. All right, it's funny that, you have a retarded Marco Rubio saying like, oh yeah, China steals because we're the most innovative country in the world. And then like 66 out of the past 72 patents on AI, I believe, have been from China. So no, we're not. We're actually retarded. It kind of like reminds me of that like clip. It was a show from Aaron Sorkin actually, but it's like the newsroom, and it takes place in 2014. This was 12 years ago. And, there's this, like, sophomore chick that, like, kind of at a college that it's, like, some panel. It's, like, the opening scene of the show. And, like, her question is, like, why is America so great or something? Why is America so exceptional or whatever? And then the main character, Jeff Daniels, is, like, after the first two say they're, kind of left and Democrat and Republican sort of approved messages, Jeff Daniels is the smart one and is like, are we though? We suck at math and everything, and we're retarded, so maybe we're not, right? And this is kind of like one of those moments where it's just kind of like, 12 years after that, it's just kind of like, oh, we're so great because we're America. It's like, no, we're not, actually, according to facts and math and facts. It's just kind of hilarious. I just feel like, the reason why most Americans still don't get it is because they're fucking racist, right? Like, I just feel like if any objective person, like, let's say there were non-racial people from an alien planet, right? They were just like, they just look like an amalgamation of all humans on Earth, right? Like I guess they would, I guess, look like I don't know, just like a general, like thousands of generations of all the races together or whatever. Imagine this kind of person, you know, no bias towards any sort of fucking race or ethnicity or whatever, right? It's this alien coming down from Earth, and they're like, see these decades, they look at American media and look at American propaganda, and we're like, wait a second. For decades, literal decades, like literally since most Asian Americans came here in 1965, right? From day one, for 60, 40, 50, 60 years, they've been saying, oh, aren't all Asians good at math? Oh, aren't they all nerds that study? Oh, don't they just go on the computer and just like fucking be on the computer while we play our sports and go to homecoming dances and all this other fucking white people shit of being fucking lazy and entitled and retarded? You know, 40, 50 years of that shit. And they're like, wait a second. Americans are smart, though, because we're American and, you know, actually all the innovation comes from here. You know, actually all the smart people are still here, even though all the people actually still building AI in America are also Asian. It's like, are you guys fucking retarded? Like, whiteoids are literally fucking retards. Like, they're just fucking retarded. Like, I feel like, you know, when black people or brown people or whatever, they kind of like say white people ain't all that, blah, 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 whatever. But they can never really, they never bring the Asian fucking thing into the argument. So their arguments sound fucking retarded. Like, oh yeah, like, you know, fucking Yakub or some bullshit of like fucking like black people created Yakub or some shit, you know, like that's the fucking kanging that goes on. Or like, you know, like, I don't know. It's just like fucking ridiculous kanging. When all this time they have the fucking China right there being like, no, Asian, I mean, like, white people aren't all that. Even fucking Japan, right? It's like Japan was way behind in 1858, right? When Commander Perry came to the islands with his guns and gunboats and whatever, and they were like, oh shit, we got to catch up. And then they caught up in like 40, 50 years. It's like, think about all that, like all this fucking capitalism and slavery and whatever, all this fucking development that the whites had to do in Europe, you know, since the Renaissance and all that shit. The fucking Japs speed ran that in 50 years. And just fucking beat the taillights out of Russia, right? After fucking 50 years, like how are you guys not using that as white people ain't shit? Like, the white people ain't shit train, the conductors are fucking Asian on this train, you dumb fucks. God, this is why I hate like fucking, you know, identity politics liberals, because they don't even fucking bring the right arguments about why whiteoids aren't all that shit, you know? Why isn't this fucking freezing? Anyway. Skibbity toilet meme. Is it a meme already? Rubio just kanging, Lamau. America just kanging. The Europeans probably stole from the Arabs. Yeah. I mean, Europeans like even fucking calculus Like, Newton stole that shit from Leibniz, The notation we use, that's all Leibniz's notation. We don't fucking use the crazy fucking shit that Newton uses. And then what did Newton do with that? He just used it for imperialism. He was part of the fucking, like, English crown and fucking the Navy, whatever. I don't know. Some sort of, like, bank of coin for the Navy or some shit. They just used their fucking inventions to kill other people to get their shit. That's all they fucking did. Like, whiteoids of England and America, they didn't do fucking shit. Like, a lot of the fucking technology growth came from Germany, actually, in the 19th century. All that chemistry fucking shit. All the stuff in, like, creating new technologies and new fucking chemical fucking shit to advance, technology. That came from Germany. It wasn't England. It wasn't, it wasn't America. It was only the American kind of, like, production, like, I guess, like, Ford came up with pretty good ways of mass producing stuff. They kind of, like, perfected sort of, like, I guess, socialized economic planning, which is ironic, right? Because you don't think socialized production when you think of America, but that's what they actually perfected, ironically enough. But all that technology stuff, like even fucking atom bomb, right? Even fucking NASA, they had to use black women for their math, for that, and they had to use a Chinese woman's math for the fucking atom bomb, which is why I don't feel bad about the nukes, because they were Chinese made, so it was justice, in my opinion. The natural result of a whiteoid education. And it makes sense, right? Like, whiteoids are going to try to glaze themselves all the time. Like, do people not realize that they've been fucking, like... that's the other part about, like, whiteoids and Hollywood. Like, I feel like, obviously I hate wokeism and I hate identity politics, and I'm not a fan of, like, just inserting, random, like, non-white characters in white stories, like a Black Bond or whatever. That doesn't fucking make sense. Like, MI6, why would a black person willingly participate in white imperialism? It's like white supremacy. Like, it's just fucking retarded. But it's funny when they crash out, though. It's like, they can't put a white person here, blah, 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 whatever. This is anti-white. It's just like, this has only been the case for, like, the woke shit has only been the case for, like, less than 10 years. Let's be fucking real here. Like, 2017, when Get Out came out, people were still fucking racist as fuck. Like, the white women in that, the white women who watched that movie were like, oh, the white girlfriend wasn't a bad. She was also hypnotized, right? Or she wasn't the bad guy. It's like, no, that was you dumb bitch. It's like, no, they still didn't fucking get it. This was just 9 years ago, right? It's not like this thing has been around for that long of woke shit in the media. But it's like, if you take it back to, you're like, okay, do you realize that the media has been glazing you? Because that's what people buy. They want to be glazed. They don't want to, like, watch shit that, like, makes fun of them, right? That's why Asian people aren't watching that Devils Wear Prada movie, right? You don't watch movies where you get fucking, like, made fun of. But, like, the whiteoids, they don't realize that they've been glazed this entire time for at least 500 fucking years. And so they literally cannot think objectively because they have been glazed for so long, and yet they think they have some modicum of authority when it comes to judging kind of like AI or math or anything objective or scientific when they're all fucking retarded retards. Like, the average whiteoid is not very smart. I'm sorry, they're not. It's just kind of like bullshit nonsense. Like, even fucking Elon. Like, he's the whiteoid that's supposed to be a very smart whiteoid, right? But he's not fucking smart at all. Clearly. Like, he's not a fucking engineer. He was LARPing as a gamer. Is he probably very hardworking and dedicated? Whatever. Probably. But I don't even know about that. Like, he's fucking, like, trying to go off to Epstein Island. You know, how much work can he be doing if he's like, let's go to the island, right? I guess, like, yeah, and that's probably why a lot of people find me interesting, because for the past 6 years, I have been kind of like the only non-white person who's kind of been like, whiteoids ain't shit. Because guess what? I reached the top of the mountain in whiteoid land, and I could tell you for a fact that like, I have the experience. You know, all those fucking, like, you know, BLM people or radlibs or even whiteoid radlibs who are like, white people suck, blah, 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 whatever. You know, the rich suck or the white people suck, whatever. Like, even the anarchist whiteoids who say that, they don't know what they're fucking talking about. You know, they're just talking from a reactionary, oh yeah, you know, white people stole everything and whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like not really historically materialist, to be honest. It's like, no, that's not exactly what happened. I mean, like, yes, obviously black people were the reason they were able to settle in the Americas, which was a very harsh and difficult environment because you had to till the land, right? And also survive Indian people trying to kill you for trying to steal their land. That's another story. But, you know, with historical materialism, you kind of know now, you can point out now where the whiteoids are mediocre or whatever. They just say it without, like, any sort of fucking thing backing it up. So it just sounds like retarded leftoid nonsense. You gotta be fucking precise about, you know, your anti-whiteoid propaganda. Otherwise, like, we're already behind the 8 ball in the West, right? This is already a system that is designed to always glaze whites. So in order to fight that, you need to be accurate. You can't be fucking just, you know, throwing shit out like, oh, like black people invented everything. It's like, no, that's not fucking true. Okay, let's fucking stop this nonsense. Anyway, new cope is AI going to do all the math so we don't need to learn it. Lol. Do they realize that? You know, engineering and whatever isn't just about asking math questions, but it's about knowing what math questions to ask, knowing which problems to solve, knowing what to build and how to build it. You know, the math is just kind of like a tool in that regard. So yes, AI can serve as a useful tool in doing lots of mathematical stuff. But unless you have, like, you know, the scientific wherewithal to know what to do with that data and information and calculation, it's just going to be fucking useless. It's like, oh, I've got a lot of 2x4s and fucking, you know, I got a robot that can hammer things now and whatever. But if you don't have an architect to tell you where to put all the shit and whatever, and all the math in the world isn't going to fucking help you. But yeah, in England, the kings and queens were a brother and sister. When did that start, and how long did it start for? I mean, in a way, in a way, like, Zionism is a whiteoid, is an Angloid, like, fucking ideology. Because, like, you know, first the Anglos, they started their whiteoid settling, you know, obviously in America and then Canada, you know, South Africa, obviously, to this day, and who the only country that was supporting South Africa was Israel, you know, during the apartheid era. Even the fucking other whiteoid countries were not supporting South Africa. That's how bad it looked. But the fucking Zionists did, right? But that's the thing. The British are also clever, right? They know that doing that shit, you know, they knew they were the first woke people. That's right. The British people are the first woke people. Now, what do I mean by that? Do I mean that they were progressive? And no, I mean that they knew. You know how, like, people try to, like, make it seem like racism is just a thing of ignorance. You know, it's like, oh man, like, if people just got along, and, you know, when people were children, if they just hung out with black people or Hispanic people or Asian people, they would know not to be racist anymore, right? That all of racism is just ignorance, blah, 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 whatever. This is kind of like the whiteoid kind of like liberal argument today. But England, they knew exactly what they were fucking doing hundreds of years ago, right? They knew that being, you know, having slaves or whatever was not a morally a good thing, right? So they kind of like said, oh, we're getting rid of slavery in like the early 1800s, after Toussaint Louverture kind of like had his Haitian Revolution, I think in 1807 or whatever it was. England was like, you know what, we're getting rid of our slaves. See, we don't have any slaves. We're good people. Don't pay attention to the fact that our cotton mills just buy wholesale from the South, and that we supported the Confederacy financially during the Civil War. Don't pay attention to any of that stuff. Just pay attention to the fact that we were first people to get rid of slavery. We actually ended slavery, see? You know, like, this is the kind of thing England does, because it's ahead of the curve, right? It knows when things are not going to be popular to sustain anymore, right? Like, for example, their empire after World War II. India was like, fuck y'all, we fought your wars and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And the UK was like, yep, sounds about right. You know what? You know what? You guys can handle all that now yourselves, right? Like, Britain knew that, you know, it couldn't fucking challenge that, especially after the war. But also that it would look like the good guys. See, like, we're the good guys now. We're not imperialists anymore. We're, you know, capitalism can be about freedom and democracy now, right? Like, and with the whole Palestine thing, it's the same kind of thing. They were like, you know what? Let's let the Jews handle it, and we don't have to be hated on by the Arabs anymore. Because the Arabs, you know, they had some enmity towards, obviously, the colonizers, France and England. But they were like, you know what? And we could still deal with the Zionists for, you know, influence in the region, which they did with America as well. It was just kind of like, with America, we're still going to, like, run shit. The Bank of England has a lot of influence and money and whatever, especially in the United States. And we're still going to be running shit. We're just not going to be running shit with our country in front, right? And so England is like the master at doing this shit. And it's the model. It's the fucking model of which imperialism, of Western imperialism, was fucking founded on. And, well, not founded on, but, like, I guess the final form of like, you know, economic might plus military control. That's kind of the British model, right? And yeah, now it's like Zionism is just that. You know, America was Zionist too for a while because like Teddy Roosevelt said the same fucking shit. He actually basically called like America New Israel, like as if America was now the land of Christianity, that was going to bring Christianity to the entire world, right? And so this was the promised land for us whiteoids, since us whiteoids represent Christianity, right? Like literally, this was literal fucking like Zionism for whiteoids, like Anglos. Even though he was Dutch, Teddy Roosevelt was a Dutchoid, but it was whiteoid all the same, right? Yeah, his family was one of the original people on New Amsterdam, which became New York, as some of you may know. But anyway, yeah, the Zionist model is the Angloid, Americoid model. I just like saying "oid" a lot. I don't know why. It's fun. The kings and queen. That might explain why they're dysgenic. I mean, that's the same thing too. That's another characteristic these Jews kind of like, or these Zionists kind of do, because it's like, well, if we're the chosen ones, we got to keep it in the family, right? And yeah, I mean, yeah, you see a lot of interesting genetic, physiognomic me sort of things popping up. It's the sort of thing that you only see with, you know, Asian people if well, they took a lot of Agent Orange, I guess. But I guess that's a joke in poor taste. But that's what it takes, right? You need chemical warfare to make such dysgenic Asian people. That apparently there's a, you know, there was one Israeli that was so dysgenic that a newspaper or a news organization posting a photo of one was deemed anti-Semitic, even though the photo was not altered at all. So even Jewish people or Israel people or Zionists are like, man, we are dysgenic. So anyway, I'm going to get canceled. White parents glaze their kids. Asian parents be like, you ain't shit. I mean, yeah, that's the real negative dialectic. The negative dialectic of having an Asian parent is just like, yeah, what do people think? Like, what do people think goes on in schools? Like, do Americans remember school at all? Do Americans really not remember that Asian people were just fucking destroying all of them in school all the fucking time? And they're like fucking Pikachu surprise face. Maybe it's because like it's the whiteoids in Middle America who've never had Asians in their fucking schools. Probably because, you know, Middle America, yeah, doesn't really have good schools at all. So they're all just fucking retarded. Have no idea why America is still, I guess, in the lead, even though it's not going to be very soon. Yeah. I have no idea why people thought those whiteoids were going to turn to communism, because, yeah, that's not fucking happening. They're too whiteoid. I said this before, probably, or I tweeted this, you know, like that. MAGA communism was a nice idea, but it was a nice theory. But I think we've seen in the past year or so that it is not coming to fruition. It is not a viable strategy going forward. I think once the only reason it had some currency before the second term of the Trump presidency is because it was against the establishment. The establishment at that time was the Democratic Party. And when MAGA communism was attacking the things of the Democratic Party that were aligned with communism, that served that purpose. But now that the fucking maggots are quote unquote in power, right, or whatever, or Trump is in office, that should have been dropped from the day fucking one, because it's like, well, those people, like the MAGAs that think they won, why would they ever like be like, oh yeah, let me check out this communism thing, right? It's just fucking like a retarded kind of thing to lock yourself into that kind of partisan type strategy. Why is this fucking... There we go. Sorry about that, Andrew Yu. I need to think about this a little bit more. Just because there wasn't that much demand. I might just like buy... I have to figure that out a little bit more. But yeah, sorry about that. I'll try to figure that out as well by the end of the month. Be real, practically the only Asian. What's be real? I'm annoyed by the Euros get to pretend to have the moral high ground while US doing all the imperialism in their path. Oh yeah. Euros are fucking scum. Especially those who are still like fucking pro-Ukraine and anti-Russia. Those Euros are fucking Trotskyite scum liberals. They are fucking Nazis as well. But I think it's kind of like in the past few months, I kind of check the temperature. Obviously, I'm online all the time, but I almost feel like like China watchers or senators who are anti-China, or when they tweet all this shit or whatever, I feel like they're getting ratioed now more often than not by just like regular people now. I feel like, there was also this other thing where it was like, under 35 disapproval of China went from like 40 something from like a few years ago, like 45% to like 28% or something. Like, so, young people are kind of seeing the bullshit, which is good, right? Because I think ever since the Epstein shit, I think anyone Gen Z and younger pretty much is like, unless you're fucking like a shill or a groiper or whatever, like Harry Sison or like a groiper or whatever, unless you're one of those, like, I feel like, well, even groipers, right? Groipers are anti-establishment to an extent, but I feel like everyone in Gen Z who's at least somewhat plugged into politics is kind of like not believing the fucking anti-China stuff, which is good in my opinion, right? I would like not to be sent to a concentration camp if possible, or internment camp, or whatever camp they have in store for us if we go to World War III with China. And so, yeah, that stuff's good. And, sentiment is also good in preventing us from going to war with China. I think, like, all these different events are cracks in the empire. Like, and that's kind of like, right, that's the other thing. Anti-China politicians are pro-Israel. And, oh, yeah, thanks, Chevy. I am the only Asian saying white people ain't shit. I feel like I've been saying that the loudest for the past 6 years. Like, I don't think any other Asian in China or not has been saying that as much, has been saying fuck white people as much as I have. I think I'm like the leader, all-time leader of fuck white people as a tweet. But I could be wrong about that. That's for sure. But definitely as an Asian American diaspora, I'm definitely the leader of that. And the thing is, I've studied whiteoids, right? I've done like, you know, all those people who like all those woke libs or woke tards who kind of like hate on white people just as like blah blah blah. They don't know. They don't know like what like 10% of the shit I know, you know, about whiteoids. Like I've studied whiteoids. I'm like the fucking like occidentalist of the world. Like I'm the world's leading occidentalist. Like I fucking put whiteoids under a microscope. You know, I'm still fucking studying the whiteoids, right? I'm studying how the whiteoids think, like maximally. This is like the maximum of whiteoid thought, right? And I'm fucking studying that shit. I gotta study the whiteoids in order to analyze them and properly judge them. You know, I don't necessarily say they're all fucking retarded, blah blah, whatever. There are a lot of fucking retarded whiteoids. I'm not even saying that they're, you know, they didn't do all this shit. Like they made a lot of contributions, obviously, to science and thought, Marxism especially, right? It's technically a whiteoid contribution, but yeah, dude, I browse a lot of Asian content. You're pretty much the only one. Yeah, I'm pretty crazy, I'm not gonna lie. Do you think becoming Chinese will be a lasting, meaningful development? Oh, I meant end of May, Andrew. I didn't mean end of. But I think becoming Chinese is, you know, somewhat related to what I was talking about, the Gen Z thing and the China thing. It could be. And that's like related to the reason why I personally don't think too much about the WMF mind virus. Not that I ever really did. The only reason I was like that, like fixated on the WMF mind virus for the longest time is because it literally directly affected my career, right? Like if you have a fucking propaganda machine that's designed to emasculate and denigrate Asian men, yeah, like obviously I'm gonna fucking research that and figure out, like, my whole thing in researching it initially before Marxism Leninism was to be able to beat it and be like, oh, okay, like I understand the thing now let me fucking try to make counter propaganda to like beat it, right? But in trying to beat it, I've learned every aspect of it, right? But that doesn't mean I was like concerned about it because like I wouldn't want to date an Asian woman who just wanted to suck white dick. You know what I mean? Like I don't that to me shows that that person doesn't have any self-respect, or that they're just marrying for money, right? Not to say obviously all WMA people are like that, whatever, but if a woman is dating like 99% white dudes, I mean, like that's the mind virus. Let's someone with the mind virus. Let's fucking be real, right? But yeah, just like the WMA mind virus was started due to hypergamy, I think, yeah, like as China and the rest of Asia continues to rise. I mean, I think Chinese GDP growth was 5% last quarter. They're still killing it, right? As long as that trend keeps trending, there's going to be AMWF, right? There's going to be white women who are like, you know what? Fuck this America shit. Fuck this, you know, whatever. Let me find a Chinese husband. You know, like what did you guys think happened back in World War II when the war brides were like, live in war-torn Asia or move to America where I will instantly be fucking rich as hell, right? Because the stereotype back then was that all the roads in America were paved with gold, you know. But even back then, it wasn't like Asia was fucking poor, right? You guys all know that, right? Like Asia was poor as fuck. South Korea was the poorest country in the fucking world after the Korean War. It was fucking, yeah. I mean, like, if you... obviously, like, yeah, if I was an Asian woman, I'd fucking like try to find a white dude to get the fuck out too, right? That just makes sense. So in the, like when the going gets really tough here, guess what's going to happen? White women are going to be like, "Oh, let me try to find, some fucking Chinese, fucking boyfriend who's also working for some tech company making lots of money, who's going to go back to fucking China someday. Get the fuck out of here." That's going to be trending a lot more. But yes. Changs don't catch rangs. Wait, how many people still here are interested in the shirt? I mean, I know it was around 4 or 5 people, but if it is more than just Andrew, then yes, I will make that a priority. Move over Dugan. What? Dugan is fucking retarded. I'm sorry. I don't know what you guys saw. I don't know what you infrared people or, saw in Dugan, but I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? What is his name? Alexander Dugan? What's his Twitter? AG Dugan. Like, let's go over some fucking tweets. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, this thing about the fucking whining about China being challenged and Russia doing the dirty work. Shut the fuck up, white-oid retard. Wait, how did this get so many fucking... Hold on a second. How did this get 0 likes? Oh, wait, no, it has 170 likes. What's going on with my thing here? Is it like unliking my shit? But yeah, Trotsky, I gibber. The idea of Fuentes about tactical alliance with the anti-Zionist left is brilliant. Like, he's like fucking retarded. Guess what country let's see. FBI reports that several leads on Charlie Kirk's assassin points to probable ties with foreign intelligence. Guess which country first letter is U? This guy is literally fucking retarded. Like, only whiteoids would find this stuff illuminating, which makes sense because Alexander Dugan sees Japan's turn under Senate as a civilizational awakening that can align Tokyo with Russia. Like, how many things has he been so clearly retarded on? And it's funny. I made the appropriate gif. This guy is retarded. The only hope for MAGA is Vance. Vance, the guy that's controlled by Peter Thiel, is the only hope for MAGA, apparently. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, this one, I guess I agreed with him. But yeah. It's just like, I don't understand why he was glazed. Just like retarded whiteoids. I'm sorry, but RTSG, infrared, really don't fucking think they're anything special, to be honest. They just glaze retarded people. And, like homophagalists, right? I mean, come on. Let's be real. ABC women to me nowadays are just white women in an Asian skin. Yeah. Wait, what other Asian content do you watch, by the way, Chevy? Or like, what do you think is like the top Asian content these days on the internets? Just browse Red Note. You'll see a lot of Asian. Thing is, I don't really even care about the prevalence of AMWF or WMA. I don't fucking care. I just care about the historical materialism behind it and why it aids imperialism, right? That's my fucking biggest concern. But yeah, these recent fucking, like that fucking retard Bay Area Asian who's talking about like being an ABG to get some husband. Like, God, they're all fucking retarded. Everyone is so fucking retarded. That's like my main complaint with society. It's just like there's so many fucking retards. And the worst part of it is people still like glaze these retards as if they're fucking intelligent. And it's like, I feel like the only reason I'm making shit is to point out how retarded people are. And I get so tired of it. Like, I didn't want to make this WMF video. I thought I already fucking settled the debate 5 years ago and been like, this is what it comes from. But no, I gotta fucking make this video because so many people are fucking retarded. Probably gonna make a Dugan video too, apparently now. Because I gotta show how he literally last 4 tweets. It was just nothing but retardation. Blaming Ukraine for Charlie Kirk. Thinking Japan, like Sune Takaichi was gonna be friendly to Russia for some fucking reason. Or like blaming China for not, defending Venezuela when Russia was doing all the fucking heavy lifting. Fucking like thinking that Fuentes was going to make a united front with leftoid. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, these are the type of people that they're telling you to glaze. And they're telling you that I'm the fucking crazy one and not smart one or not informed. Like, get the fuck out of my fucking face. Like, there's no whiteoid I respect at all. Like, in terms of politics or in terms of history or there's no one at this point. I do not respect anyone when it comes to fucking Marxism, Leninism, who is a whiteoid. You throw them at me. Fucking destroy them all. I'll get a sure to support you. Well, I just want to. Fine. Okay. Well. All right. I'll make it available. I'll make it available by the end of the month. I owe it to you guys. But just to be warned, these aren't going to be cheap. That's the thing. I thought it was going to be a thing where I could sell them for $10, $5. But they actually apparently cost a bit of money to, I guess, because it's custom and all this other stuff, and it's not coming like, I'm not. If I were to make like thousands of them, I'm sure I can, sell them for like $10. But unfortunately, they're going to be probably around $25 to $30. So just keep that in mind. All right. Keep that in mind. Sup, Wi-Fi? Yeah, it's been a while. I don't know if I said this last time, but for the past couple of weeks, well, really like for the past year and a half, a friend of mine has been dealing with cancer, and he passed away last week. And so I have been away since I was literally in Maryland for that. Yeah, but kind of talk about how I've been dealing before that, so you can replay this stream afterwards. I think I'm a little bit better, I think I'm a little bit more energy than the last time. I think I was a little, understandably a little low energy, but I think I'm getting my Stella grooving my groove back, I guess. Dugan is just Russian Jang. That's a good one. Jang Shukin. Is that his name? I don't know. Yeah. Professor Dugan. I'm gonna tweet that right now. I'm gonna tweet that. I'm gonna show you guys. I'm tweeting. I'm gonna show you guys what happens when a Doug Kim is tweeting. Professor Dugan is just Russian Professor Jang. I just like tweeting things without any context. There's no quote tweet. There's no setup. Just Professor Dugan. Oh man. Anyway. Is Dugan even a real person? I think he is. Based on, unfortunately, yes, of course, that was tragic when his daughter was assassinated by probably Ukrainian terrorists. But I think, yeah, he's a real person. ABG, yeah, exactly. Asian baby girl Dugan. Sorry to hear about chat. Always here for you. Oh, thanks, guys. It's kind of odd, because like I have such a very aggressive persona and I'm very political and I'm very blah blah blah. That, it's almost like, you know, but as an actor too, I've had moments of public vulnerability, right? You have to be, because if that's what you're doing as an actor. But I feel like it's this weird thing where it's just kind of like, well, I don't know. Yeah. It's a very the way I feel about it is also complicated itself. But even just talking about it is complicated. Yeah. Other than just like saying what the straight up facts were about it. But yeah, I don't know. It just feels like if I were like, like a generic influencer, you know, um, with 500,000 followers, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The people who follow me for parasocial reasons rather than like, political information reasons. What's up, Imperialis to Hungaru? I usually talk about the comments on YouTube if you're wondering why I didn't call that out until now. But yeah. But yeah, I'm not that, obviously, so it just kind of doesn't seem too relevant to go into it too much. Also, as someone who is a political person, whatever, I feel like people use stuff against you when you share too much, so we'll just leave it at that. Anyway, I don't care if Asian Americans don't wake up the fact that Westoians ain't shit. It's more important for other Asian countries to start wake up facts, except for Japs. Yeah, and I think that's also happening. It's hard to tell, right? Because the government isn't necessarily representative of the people. But you can kind of get a sense of what the people think, like going on the internet and seeing what people from that country are saying. But even that is a little biased because only the wealthier people are going to be able to go online, right? So you're not getting the full working class sentiment of any of these places. Well, I guess I care because in the immediate term, obviously, the way I kind of gain influence is by appealing the most to Asian Americans. I feel like that's kind of my wheelhouse in the Marxist-Leninist kind of movement, so to speak. I'm trying to just be like, look, Asians, this is why the West hates us. This is why you will never be accepted as one of them. And this is why communism is superior, not just, because of feel goods and whatever, but because of efficiency. I'm the kind of guy who's trying to rally the Asian Americans to the cause because, otherwise, why wouldn't I just move to China and preach to the choir? Like, I'd be just preaching the choir, right? I'd just be like, yeah, I'm enjoying communism. Have fun, suckers. But I'm here, right? I have to be here. My parents are still here. I kind of have to stay here. And so I care, I guess, because that's who I'm trying to influence, who I'm trying to affect, who I'm trying to bring over to my side. And also because I feel like, there was a tweet I saw recently. Whoops. What was it? So I'll just yeah, so this guy says it's unfortunate that Marxism found appeal with the theater kids first rather than the STEM kids who'd have the necessary skill set and advance in the productive forces for the transition towards socialism and the end game of communism. Right? This is actually a very surprising statement I've seen from a Westoid Marxist, because I totally agree. I think that, you know, you have all these leftoid fucking retarded whiteoid leftists who think they're doing communism, but they're just being fucking retarded. And they just comprise the entire space. Whereas obviously the STEM kids, you know, well, they're usually too busy making money. But they're also too busy being Asian American because whiteoids are too stupid to do all that stuff. But it's like, hey, if you want Marxism, Leninism to be developed in America, well, the people who are probably the best to do it, not just because they're Asian and China is communist, but because they're Asian and know how to fucking do math, that's Asian diaspora. Like, people appealing to, like, MAGA whiteoids for communism, that's another reason why it's retarded nonsense. Like, what are they... How are they going to fucking... No. It's just like... Yeah. And, like... The proof is in the pudding, man. Like, if you can't recruit Asian Americans to your communist party... Like, the people to actually fucking do it. The people who have a vested interest in, you know, dismantling American imperialism, like an inherent, like, if you can't fucking speak to those people, what fucking chance do you have? You have no fucking chance. You're just fucking LARPing. You know what I heard once too? Now that you bring that up, Chubby. It's funny because I was at the ACP conference, right? In almost exactly a year ago in Chicago. And I was in an Uber ride. I think it was like this African, it wasn't Black American. It was an African guy who was driving the Uber. And all of a sudden we were just like talking about politics. I don't know what sparked the conversation. I think it was probably talking about, this was 2025. So this is last year. So we're probably talking about Israel or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then, like, I forgot how the conversation went like this, but then he was like, oh man, like, yeah, if you were white, I probably wouldn't have even talked to you because I don't trust white people that much. Like, that is the amount of, like, distrust, you know, non-white people have of, like, anyone white over a political fucking movement. And it makes sense too, right? Because, like, Black Americans, not just Black Americans, but Africa, Native Americans, Asians, every fucking ethnic group that's not white has been betrayed, has been played by the United States. And it's just kind of like, okay, so if you have this majority white party, you know, saying that they're anti-imperialist and all this fucking shit, and they have no fucking Asian people in the leadership, it's like, what is a Black person? What is a Hispanic person? What is, like, a non-white person gonna see when they see this party? They're gonna be like, you know? But I digress, you know? It's It's unfortunate because the other fucking parties are worthless nonsense. They overcorrect in the other direction, right? It's just kind of like overcorrection. I feel like it's just reactionary nonsense. It's like, oh, okay, because the PSL and DSA are all into woke shit, the opposite must be the correct path, to be anti-woke completely. It's like, no, not quite. It's more like let's analyze this race thing a little bit more deeply instead of saying retarded shit like we live in a post-racial, hyper-racial world, like the fucking retarded nonsense I read once in Red America. And so I was just kind of like, you know what? I'm not obviously like, you know, any sort of fucking criticism of what the ACP, they're gonna be like, oh, what, you like DSA, you're lib now? No. That's the kind of retarded analytic fucking thinking, or analytic fucking analysis, right? Because Marxists are supposed to think dialectically. They're supposed to think, okay, these contradictions, two things can be true at once, right? These things don't have to be mutually exclusive. It's like, and it carries over to other shit that they fucking say, right? Like, Stalin did no wrong, or blah, 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 like, whatever. These just fucking superlative and, you know, objectively wrong statements where it's like, no, there were errors that were made. And even China said that Stalin was 70-30, right? Like, there were errors that were made, right? Or kind of like, you know, because that's what led to the whole fucking retarded Pol Pot thing too, right? They were like, oh, well, they lied about Stalin and they lied about Mao about how many people he killed. So they obviously lied about Pol Pot too. And it's like, you fucking retarded. You're just fucking retarded. You're just a fucking white-eyed retard who cannot think dialectically. And that's I don't know. It's like all the fucking communist parties in America now are just retarded. They don't have, you know, and I guess the ACP is the least retarded, but they're still retarded, unfortunately. But if they ever fix that retardation, maybe, you know, I'll consider whatever. But I'm on the path of like making sure Asian Americans don't get fucking annihilated. That's always been my fucking main directive, of being like, hey, wake the fuck up. Let's fucking wake the fuck up and create political power as a bloc ourselves. You know, I might fucking start the Yellow Tiger Party again. You know, I made a Twitter account for it. Were there? I don't even know what the Sov intern was. Let's see. So Russia, America, American Communist Party, Argentina, Party of Progress, Morocco, Moldova, Sandinista, Movement of Socialists, Serbia, Tunisia, the UK, and the Congo. So yeah. Wow. No Asians in the Sovintern. It's just kind of like, what are we even fucking doing? What are we even fucking doing, man? No, Nodadol is a fucking Trotskyite, leftist, fucking piece of shit organization too. God, it's just like, I don't fucking care anymore. You know, it's just kind of like, no one is serious about this shit. No one is actually serious about this shit. Everyone's fucking LARPing. That's what my conclusion is. whether it's DSA, PSL, ACP, it's all fucking LARP. Because at the end of the day, there is no revolution coming without a fucking severe negative dialectic. There's going to be a civil war. There's going to be World War III. There's going to be a Great Depression again before this place actually becomes communist. That, you can take that to the fucking bank. There's no way there's going to be this awakening and people are just going to fucking become communist because this party is like sloganeering billions must join or all whatever bullshit they do, or like fucking a la Cosmos Xi Jinping, whatever bullshit nonsense that fucking homophagalists is trying to push. That's the source of all this fucking retarded nonsense. Like the Dugan worship, the fucking MAGA communism idea, the fucking a la Cosmos, like homophagalists is a fucking cancer to the party. Like I don't know why people don't fucking see this shit. It's so fucking obvious. Like he is like who in their right mind thinks that somebody who calls himself logo dataless is actually not petty bourgeois? Like, are you fucking serious? This guy is so fucking narcissistic and self-conceited. Like, how do people not see? He's fucking like basically his story is basically Joseph Goebbels. Like a fucking academoid who never got any fucking power or never was like, you know, renowned for their, you know, actual literary works, but now sees that they can kind of latch on to some fucking political movement. You know, first it was the right wing, right? First it was NRX, first it was fucking Hitlerite shit. And then when he thought, oh wait, Biden is gonna win and the fucking right wing is not gonna have any more power anymore, let me flip over in 2020 for no reason at all to Marxism, Leninism. Even though I said I fucking read Marxism as a kid or whatever, and I know all this shit already, and I fucking said that Hegel was fucking retarded because Schopenhauer said so, and all this fucking bullshit that I deleted from my thing, and including fucking tweets about being in the fucking Gamergate shit in 4chan. Let me just fucking like ignore all that shit about fucking homophagalists and pretend that he's a fucking Marxist-Leninist. Get the fuck out of my face. Just because he, glazes Michael Hudson, who actually worked for the Hudson Institute, not fucking like coincidentally, in the 1960s, 1970s, and consulted for Chase Manhattan. What the fuck are we doing here? What the fuck is the ACP trying to fucking push here? Can any of you in the ACP right now that are listening, can you fucking answer that? Can you answer why the fuck this guy who isn't even in the party is still fucking glazed? I don't know. It is sad. To be fair, it's hard for Asian American STEM people to openly align with communism. Some need to make a living on government research grants that can make them a target. Well, you know, make as much money as you can and have the escape hatch open. But they need the right incentive. Is the right incentive not hating Asian people so much? I mean, it's just so fucking obvious that homophagalists is a Nazi white supremacist. Like, anyone who's not white can see it. It's why the party is like 80% white. Can you imagine, like, just fucking close your eyes for a second. Just close your eyes, right? Imagine that a communist revolution has taken place in America. Now imagine the party that has led this revolution. Do you see this party having leadership being like 90% white? Like, and no Asians. It's like, what are you fucking talking about here? Get the fuck out of here. You guys have 1,000 members for a year. You guys had the entire year. Charlie Kirk got assassinated. All this fucking crazy shit with ICE happened in January. fucking Jeff Epstein's fucking entire thing came. What? You have like the same amount of members as you did last. Like, what the fuck are you even doing? God, I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but I'm just fucking like, this is just all. Everyone's a fucking LARP, and that's why I changed my own priorities. Right? I'm like this. I'm not gonna fucking waste my time with people who are just fucking LARPing around, not doing what actually needs to be done, like fucking booting off this fucking homophagous Nazi piece of shit. And he's not even fucking part of the party. That's the craziest part in my mind, right? Like, get the fuck out of here. Anyway, and people are probably gonna be like, oh well, blah, 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 blah. I bet these fucking RTSG homofaggots, homofaggots. That's what the RTSG are. They're the little homophagel. They're the fucking Gubbles gremlins of the homophagalists. It's like, you can make all this fucking LARP you want with the Sovin turn, or, you know, shooting the effigy of Jeffrey Epstein in the middle of the desert. You could do all the fucking LARP you want, right? But where are the fucking numbers? Where's the materialism? Where is the fucking results? What are the fucking actual results? You know? What are the results? And nothing I'm saying is unknown. Everyone knows what I'm saying. Like, this isn't like insider info about the party. It's like stuff you could fucking figure out. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I have no more patience for like wasting my time anymore. So I still have friends, obviously, in the ACP. You know, I still have some white-oid friends. I'm not going to say that it's all bad. And of course, their positions are correct. There are no positions of the ACP I think are, you know, actually like incorrect completely. They should clarify their position on the Khmer Rouge, though. I'll say that to the correct position. But yeah, that's the thing too. It takes an Asian to get to the bottom line. Like, the Asians they have, they're all just fucking cucks. I'm sorry, but they're just fucking cucks. Especially the other person that they don't have on their fucking roster, Taiwanese Trotsky. That dude is such a fucking white-oid wannabe. It's so hilarious. It's so hilarious how he tries to be this fucking like tough guy, and by being like this Taiwanese tough guy or whatever. But it's like, who are you trying to fool, bro? Like, nobody thinks of Taiwanese people as these tough guy whatever. You're just trying to like LARP as this image of this white-oid tough guy thing that you created in your mind because you've lived in the West your entire life. You didn't grow up in fucking Taiwan. You grew up here. And you have the framework in which you fucking operate is you're LARPing too. You're LARPing as a tough guy white-oid by being like, oh, I'm an alpha male, blah, blah, blah. I'll challenge people to fights or whatever. It's like, bitch, pull up. Like, I've challenged you to fight like years ago. Pull up. Oh, but I'm in Taiwan. Oh, I'll pay for your like, get the fuck out of here. Like, these Asians in the ACP, or they're not even in the ACP, right? Like, he's not even fucking in the ACP. But they fucking are like, the only reason like Zhang Yu is like hitching his wagon in the ACP is because Jackson Hinkle has clout. He wants that Jackson Hinkle clout for himself, right? That's the only fucking reason. He doesn't care about Asian people. He doesn't even fucking care about Taiwanese people. Let's be fucking real about that. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. You know why? Because if he did care about Taiwanese people, why didn't he fucking live there the entire time to begin with? Why did he spend so much time in America trying to, what? I guess, learn how to do tech shit so he can get a job in tech? Because he seemed like he was very concerned about that a few years ago when I revealed his real name online, Roy Chung, because it was like, oh, what if I want to get a job here? Blah, blah, blah. Shut the fuck up, you dumb bitch. Now you're trying to grift by, like, sending people to North Korea, and then you, like, run this company to the ground before it even starts because you're such an insufferable fucking twat. Like, shut the fuck up. God. Doug, try to get on CGTN. Oh man, I'm on rant mode right now. You guys fucking feel me? I'm just fucking on. I feel like I've probably already said the shit I've said so many times before, but it feels so good to say it again. Cause fuck those guys, fuck homophagists, and fuck Taiwanese Trotsky. I like how you guys already know who I'm talking about, Sean. I don't even have to say the fucking name anymore. Anyway, Jews are white to me. Yeah, they're all fucking white. Jews are all fucking white. Even the fucking non-white Jews they're also white. The Ethiopian Jews, they're also fucking white. If you're Jew, you're white. That's the fucking rule. And according to Elon, you're peak white. Zhang Yu seems like the biggest LARP. Bro, like, the way he always takes pictures of himself at an angle, because he knows he looks like a fucking Muppet when it's, like, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Are you fucking kidding me? What a fucking Muppet. So he knows that, like, if you fucking put it straight on, he looks like a fucking Muppet. Like, what is this fucking photo? Right? Like, what the fuck is this? Look how, like, awkward it is. It's like, oh, I guess I have to take a picture with this guy. There's no, like, negative aura. Look at this negative aura guy. He's on CGTN, right? Is that what you're referring to? This fucking negative aura. Trying to, like, make his, what is this, like, soundproofing bullshit nonsense for his retarded rap songs. But then, like, you notice how when he takes a picture of himself, it's always at an angle, right? It's always at, like, an upward angle or downward angle. That's on fucking purpose. Like, this is fucking propaganda, Zhang Yu. We all know what you're trying to do here. You're trying to, like, look like this cool, like, figure. Like, you're trying to, like, LARP as this guy who's looking into the distance, like the fucking 5 heads of Marxism. But what the fuck? Like, let's be fucking real. When it's only because, like, when you look at your fucking face head on, it looks like a fucking retard. Like, get the fuck out of here. We all know what you're doing. God. Anyhow, should I just roast people? This should just be the Doug Kim roast hour. I just fucking roast people. People should just bring me people to roast, and I just fucking roast them live. Maybe this will be the new podcast. I just fucking, you bring me a person to roast. I spend all day, like, thinking about what to talk about. Just fucking, that's right. I keep it coming. Oh man. God. And it's funny. You know what's funny? Because Mike Kim probably thinks he's gonna be part of the rotation. Anyway, Elon the wall kisser. That's why I attend your streets need for the righteous yellow rage. He looks like a lesbian wearing glasses. That's a funny part too, right, Andrew? He was always, You know how RTSG had a moment with Pol Pot, whatever. They were all like, "Oh, glasses wearer, you're a Trotskyite glasses wearer," and he's fucking wearing glasses. The fucking hilarious part of Zhang Yu trying to like criticize Trotsky is like, do you realize how much like Trotsky you actually are? Like, all of his fucking tweets are so insufferable. I am in China. According to the laws that govern Taiwan, Taiwan is a part of China. Separatists have never changed the laws. Shows how fake their movement is. As for why I'm not on the mainland of China, that's because Taiwan is my home and I love this island. Why should I leave it? That's fucking bullshit. If you love that island, why spend 20, 30 years in America? Bitch. Is it your home? It's been your home for like 3 years, you dumbass. Get the fuck out of here. Like, nobody fucking... He keeps talking about this Taiwan thing as if people fucking care. Like, no one fucking cares. Like, you know what the funny part about that is? Oh wait, I didn't even show it on the screen. But you know what the funny part about all that is? It's like, I made this comment once about like how, or, you know, I came up with this idea once. Someone probably also came up with it, but, you know, I was thinking like to myself, true heroes try to fight for a world that doesn't require heroes. Right? And when you think about, I guess, like someone like Batman, right? And that's kind of like the central question of The Dark Knight, of like whether he was doing it because he really wanted to change society, or whether he was doing it because he needed to be Batman to resolve his inner turmoil, right? And for someone like fucking Zhang Yu, it's so hilarious because he probably saw himself as this necessary hero in his own story of like, oh, I'm the only Taiwanese Marxist-Leninist in the world. So I gotta be the one that like gets China and Taiwan to unite or whatever, or, you know, be instrumental in that process of happening. But you know what's funny? There are other Taiwanese people who have been on the other side for so long and just flipped. And now they have more influence than Zhang Yu. They don't even know anything about like Marxism, Leninism, or it's Soviet whatever, but they're like, oh yeah, I guess China's better after all, and I don't want to turn it to Ukraine. So just, you know, and I know it eats him up inside, be like, oh, they just gotta know. They're not real communists. They're not. But I gotta work with them since, you know, blah blah blah. I gotta go on this fucking Uyghur trip with them. Oh man, it's just I just have fun watching things. You know. Just because I don't comment on things doesn't mean I'm not always observing. I'm not always making observations. I'm not always seeing the pieces on the chessboard. I'm always watching the chessboard. I'm always watching the Go board, I guess. The Baduk. The Wakey. I don't know. It's funny because most people call it Go, which is unfortunately the Jap name for it. Baduk is the Korean name, obviously, and Wakey is the original Chinese name. But yes, roast. But I don't know. I don't have anything more to roast, I guess. Oh, wait, I didn't even talk about what I was going to talk about. So yeah, it don't matter if you're Jew or Aryan. That was the title of my fucking stream. I guess I'll talk about it now since I still have 30 minutes. But, you guys ever hear about the Michael Jackson movie that came out? last week. Apparently, this movie is the fastest grossing biopic in history. I think its budget was 165 to 200 million, made 245 at the box office. And that is only domestic, I believe. Let's see. Domestic was 123 in the United States and Canada, and 122 in other territories. Worldwide, 245. And I don't believe it released in China yet, which will definitely give it a huge boost. The reason why this is significant is because A, movies are dying, obviously, and B, it's the biggest fucking thing, and C, it got 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. So clearly, while the cinema score was an A-, so 90%, 84% saying they would definitely recommend it. Now, granted, I'm sure a lot of those people were MJ fans, of course. You know, they're going to like anything that's Michael Jackson. But this disparity kind of says something to me here. 37% of 243 critics were positive. All right? And so, let's see. Let's see the negative ones, what they would say. Okay, so the negative ones, it's a slick. No. The negative one was John Nugent of Empire. Gave Michael 2 out of 5. Cosplay tribute with no artistic point of view. Peter Bradshaw gave it 2 out of 5. But this is frustratingly shallow, inert picture, kind of a cruise ship entertainment, which can't quite bring itself to show that Michael was an abuse victim, brutalized by his father and robbed of his childhood. Apparently, it wanted to show child abuse. Writing for BBC News, of course, BBC, gave 1 out of 5, Nicholas Barber, calling it a bland and barely competent daytime TV movie. Robert Daniels of Robert Ebert gave it 1 out of 4. Michael is in a movie. It's a filmed playlist in search of a story. Okay, so here, Telegraph, several critics noticed the lack of mention of abuse allegations. Telegraph critic Robbie Collins said Michael refused to address the elephant in the room and that it was not credible for an MJ biography to avoid addressing the accusations, blah, 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 that dogged his later life. Well, first of all, the movie only goes until, I believe, 1988. It ends in 1988. So the allegations hadn't even fucking happened yet. So the guy is being retarded. I'm going to do a full fucking analysis on these 243 reviews. I'm going to analyze how many of them are Jewish. Just as an exercise, right? Because 37% is pretty fucking bad, right? You'd expect something like, okay, it's a cookie cutter Michael Jackson movie. Maybe like 50%, 60%, 37% in the age of Rotten Tomatoes where everything fucking gets glazed now. As long as you got a few wheels to grease, you know. It's fucking ridiculous, right? And so I think people are starting to, I think it was said earlier in this stream, but it's kind of like the same people who criticize China are criticizing or are praising Israel. You know, that's actually helping China, right? And so the same people who were defending Epstein or whatever are kind of like going really hard on MJ right now. And it's like, wait, you guys are just, why is this relevant when a movie about Michael Jackson comes out? You know what I mean? It's like, why are they making all these political fucking like things? All all of these news places, Rolling Stone, all blah blah, Variety, all these fucking Hollywood entities that are owned by usually a certain group of people, why are they all coordinating right now over a silly biopic that got 37% on Rotten Tomatoes? Oh, is it because it's doing well that now we gotta pull out the stops to make sure that it doesn't do that well, or to make sure that sentiment is muted about it, or to control the narrative of what's gonna come out because people are looking into this a little bit more? Well, now they've Streisand affected themselves even more, and now I'm totally convinced that Michael Jackson never was a pedophile, and those fucking accusers were just grifting pieces of shit. It's very obvious now from all of the fucking, there have been Michael Jackson historians that have come out, and, people who have believed he was innocent from the beginning because they did all the, there's power to autism, right? Power to the autistic Michael Jackson historians who researched every part of the trial, researched every fucking testimony, like did all the fucking legwork, and was like, that can't have been true because Neverland Station was never built until 93 or whatever, blah blah blah. All these facts coming in left and right, and being like, MJ was innocent, he was never convicted, he never had a criminal case against him, etc., etc. And so now people are kind of being like, especially Black Americans who are huge Michael Jackson. Like, Michael Jackson represented something bigger than, like, even basketball. Even Jordan wasn't as big as Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like, I think Michael Jackson represented something huge, not only because he was like a superstar entertainer, but I think he genuinely was like a very good person, and you could say anything about, Jordan and Kobe and people like that, but you can kind of tell that those kinds of people are kind of psychopaths a little bit and narcissists. Whereas, like, I'm not saying that, obviously Michael Jackson called himself the king of pop, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Definitely had a huge opinion of himself. But at the same time, you can kind of tell, like, if the fucking pedophile shit never happened, everyone would be, like, regarding MJ as a saint. And it's really just because that happened that people have mixed feelings about him. But, yeah, now I feel like, and that's why I'm going back to doing the Kanye documentary, because I think this is one of the things he was alluding to. This was one of the things he was talking about. This is one of the things, like, because that's the thing. Like, in 1993 or so, or something like that, 1992, whatever, Michael Jackson had done a concert in Tel Aviv. And after that concert, he realized what was going on in Palestine and spoke out against it. And the next 15 years after that, his life was made a living hell by a certain group of people, right? And it's just like all the fucking guilty by, like I think the intelligence agencies, they didn't quite understand the gamble they were taking with the October 7th. Because I think they didn't quite understand how rabid psychopaths Zionists actually were, like, openly. Like, for the longest time, the liberal Zionists have been really good at, like, gaslighting and qualifying and equivocating and kind of, like, being like, blah, 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 whatever. Yeah, also the Holocaust, blah, blah, blah. It sounded reasonable for the longest time, right? Since 1947, 1948. Oh, the Nakba, kind of sucked, but, boys will be boys. Something like that, right? Like, But, you know, like, after 10/7, you had a bunch of fucking psychopath, rabid Zionists being like, fuck them, we're the chosen people, etc., doing all the fucking things that they're basically being accused of doing, and not realizing how poorly it was coming off. And this is just like an additional one of those times. Like, in addition to those China watchers being pro-Israel and kind of revealing that they're all also fucking psychopaths, the people who are against Michael Jackson, you know, now that they're mostly seen as pro-Israel and Zionists, now we can see that they're probably psychopaths and lying about the whole thing the entire time. You know, there's all this guilt by association with Israel now. Like, anyone, you can kind of almost guarantee that if you support Israel, you're a fucking Nazi white supremacist at this point. I mean, you know, obviously I thought that from like day one, but like, I feel like the general public, they're not 100% on board with that idea, but I feel like Gen Z over 50% is. I feel like in Gen Z, over 50% in America are at least like, if you support Israel, you are a white supremacist. Now, there are some people who might agree with that and support Israel too, because they're. But the point is that there's enough consciousness about this now that, like, I don't know. I'm a little optimistic, I guess, about things turning out maybe not so poorly, but we'll see. I just think we need to keep pressing on, keep using these sorts of touch points. That's kind of what I've been doing on Twitter, kind of like being like, yeah, and it's, you know, like, to all the Michael Jackson, like, super fans who are like, yeah, he was innocent, blah, blah, blah. I would kind of like add in like, yeah, because those Zionists lied about him all those times, you know, like, kind of like inserting the little things of like what actually happened, because that's the fucking truth, right? He called out Zionists and they killed him, just like Malcolm X, you know, just like, well, they tried to do that with Kanye even before his super crash outs, right? With that doctor person or whatever who was prescribing him all this fucking whatever shit. And yeah, they probably, you know, Bob Marley was probably before that, but it's the same kind of thing, because like that was CIA. But yeah, maybe I'll do, when I do my thing, like, those are the fucking, any black artist that actually challenged the establishment was fucking disappeared, right? You had Bob Marley. You had, you know, well, Malcolm X is in a fucking entertainer, but you had Bob Marley. You also had Muhammad Ali, right? He was literally stripped of all his titles for not going to Vietnam and all that stuff. You have who else do you have? You have Tupac, obviously, killed by Epstein agent Diddy. You have Nipsey Hussle, right? I think that was the last one. Michael Jackson, obviously. Anyone who's like a threat to the actual, like, fucking Kendrick Lamar or Drake or fucking Jay-Z, Beyonce, these are all fucking cucks to the American imperialist propaganda machine. That's why I like only fuck with Kanye at this point. I don't even like Kanye's music that much, to be honest. But I like what he stands for, or I like what he is trying to do. I don't think he's like a fucking Nazi. That's fucking retarded. I do think he, yeah, like, I don't think he's like a white supremacist, whatever, obviously. Like, he's like, power, for example. No one man should have all that power. That was a quote from an NYPD officer who saw Malcolm X just direct a crowd of black people wherever he wanted to. And, you know, I think Kanye's father was also part of the Panthers. So Kanye Kanye is very well read. He's very well read on politics and history, especially Black American history. So, um, yeah. Again, I'll probably be doing some sort of thing with him at some point, hopefully this year. Let's see. But I myself will be watching that movie. I'll probably do a review even next week. I'm watching it on Tuesday. But apparently it's also already come out with a sequel, or they announced a sequel, which makes sense. I think they're probably like, let's see how non-controversial Michael Jackson does, you know. I'm actually probably gonna research how this was produced a little bit more. Kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna do some more research on this, probably. But yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, you know, Michael Jackson. I wasn't a huge fan when he was, you know, when I was growing up or whatever. I think I was like, kind of like, not too young, but like, yeah, I feel like the biggest Jackson fans are probably Gen X for obvious reasons. But yeah, I think, I kind of agree. He is to Black people what Bruce Lee is to us. I think he's like that kind of like, oh, you can achieve this level of fucking fame and greatness even as a Black person. Even though, yes, obviously he's, you know, skin pigmentation, blah, 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 whatever, his disease or whatever. That's the other thing that like annoyed me too, you know. These are things that I'm finding out for the first time about Michael Jackson. Like, you know, I was always kind of like on the mainstream page. I was like, oh, I guess he's a child molester weirdo. You know, I took kind of like all that shit at face value, right? Like, I didn't know. I was just like reading fucking news. I didn't really care about it, so I didn't really like think about it. But I kind of accepted the general fucking thing at face value. And I think this movie, and just the amount of Streisand effect the Zionists are fucking creating, are causing people to look a little bit more deeply and realize, oh yeah, that was fucking bullshit, you know? And part of it is like knocking down someone who is Black, right? Part of that is that, right? Can't let them get too big for their britches, you know? Like, I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, my Sifu told me that the people in the know think that Bruce Lee was killed by a movie mogul in Hong Kong for film industry reasons. I think that could be true, but it could be also true that he was propositioned by MI6 / CIA, right? It's just kind of like any sort of like, I feel like just any celebrity that goes against the establishment and has died an early death, I just like now blame the CIA or the FBI for that. It's just like all over now. Like, they fucking made Ernest Hemingway kill himself, right? For fucking supporting Cuba. And like, if that shit was going on since the 1950s, of like making one of America's treasured, you know, authors fucking kill himself, like, why wouldn't they kill Michael Jackson? Why wouldn't they kill Bob Marley? Why wouldn't they kill all these other people that aren't even fucking white, right? Ernest Hemingway was a white dude. And then he committed suicide because like the FBI was tailing him all the time. And even his friends didn't believe him at the time. His friends were like, oh, he just went crazy and killed himself. But then in the 90s, like, stuff came out that confirmed that Hemingway was correct. They were following him. And so, you know, kind of also goes to show, like, what's the point of being, like, and I know this isn't a lot of, like, most celebrities are just celebrities because they want to be rich and famous, and that's fine, right? But there are some celebrities that, like, you know, especially the autistic ones that kind of believe, oh, if I gain enough power and privilege, I can make a difference in the world. I can do all these things. I have all this money. I have all this influence. I can move the needle. And I think, like, when you examine people like Michael Jackson, who did do a lot of those things, who tried to make a difference, it kind of, like, makes that person realize, oh, this is not that. This is a fucking game. This is a fucking game that's rigged. That the imperialists have rigged since the dawn of, you know, it's just kind of like, if you think about it, if you think about imperialism and capitalism, the system, capital and the people who have capital will do everything that they can to protect their capital, right? They were going to do everything that they can to accumulate capital and to protect their hold on that capital. And to, when you consider just like entertainment as a whole, like, it isn't just like in recent times that it was used in propaganda, like, you know, the MCU and all this other stuff. It's been used as propaganda since day fucking one. And I think that, like, you know, I think hopefully this will make the people that are, you know, thinking about that kind of stuff sort of reevaluate their priorities and try to understand what they're going to try to do, I suppose, if they are a celebrity. I don't know too much about Anthony Bourdain, to be honest. I could see it being a thing, but I don't know. And that's the thing too. The thing is, like, artists in general are usually neurodivergent, right? It makes sense too, because, like, real true artists are the people who are seeing things and seeing patterns and bringing patterns into fruition that other people can't really do, because they're normies and they can only like do normie things and like recreate what's already been created. It's really like the autistic people that are kind of like, or the neurodivergent people who are like thinking outside the box, or thinking outside of, that are creating different things. And so that's the other thing that, like, kind of pissed me off about the Michael Jackson thing, because it's clearly obvious that he was probably on the spectrum, you know, probably with complex PTSD as well from his abusive kind of father and all this other stuff. But generally speaking, I feel like he definitely was on the spectrum. Like, you have to be very, like, he was very technical, like, about his music, about his dance moves. Everything was so precise. You don't have that sort of fucking technical precision without being, like, autistically focused on, like, bringing that precision into play. Like, he composed his own music, he wrote his own music, he choreographed, like, well, I think he also had help with choreography as well, but he, like, crafted these moves that, like, how could he not have autism, right? You know what I mean? And so it kind of pisses me off when I see shit that, like, not only was he lied about, but he was humiliated. Apparently there was this fake fucking award ceremony when he was 45 that Britney Spears and Jimmy Fallon made him do, or whatever bullshit, to embarrass him. It was just, like, literally just fucking mean shit, picking on, like, an autistic guy. And as an autistic person myself who's been picked on a lot, that really rubbed me the wrong way. And now I'm kind of making it my life's mission to to vindicate MJ. Just kidding. We'll see. I'll do a little bit more digging on the movie itself, but we'll see how I feel after I watch it. I remember my sister bought the Dangerous album when I was a kid, so I know a lot of those songs. I actually don't know I mean, I know them now, but I didn't know like the Billie Jean and all these, the Bad. Was Bad on that one? No, Bad was on the might have been Dangerous one. I don't even fucking know. I think I knew the Bad song though, because it was on the radio probably. But I didn't really know Billie Jean until later, and Smooth Criminal until later. But yeah, I did always like Black and White, which is why the title is Jew or Aryan. It don't matter if you're Jew or Aryan. It's supposed to be a callback to it don't matter if you're black or white. Even with the stupid like 1 minute intro with Macaulay Culkin in the beginning, I kind of like that song. Check it out. Oh right, Bad was on Bad. That makes sense. How do you keep it real and not get swept up in the LARP? I mean, if I'm to be totally honest, in like a self-crit sort of way, or not being a hypocrite sort of way, obviously being independently wealthy helps, right? Because now I'm beholden to no one. I don't have to fucking cater my messages to anyone. I could say whatever the fuck I want, and you'll know that it's whatever the fuck I want, because there are literally nothing. I ask nothing of you. This is all for free. This is all free shit. You can take it or leave it. You know, the only money I quote unquote make is from my Twitter, and not even that much because I'm shadow banned. I pretty much make enough to keep the blue check, which I use for greater reach, because like the shit I say already gets me shadow banned, so I need to get the blue check to negate that a little bit, to fight to be in the algorithm. But generally speaking, like, you know, that blue check costs me like $80-$90 a year. I probably make like $150 over the year. So like, I guess I make $60 from tweeting. Not a very good ROI. Time spent. This probably comes out to be, you know, $60. Maybe, you know, I'm on Twitter. Let's say I'm on Twitter like 2 hours a day. That's an underestimate, but let's just say that. Let's just make it 3, just to make it a little clean. So I'm like 1,000 hours of tweeting for $60. Wait, is that right? That's 6 cents an hour. So yeah, obviously I meandered a bit, but the point is, I don't make any money from this. I actually lose money since I have to spend money for equipment and, you know, t-shirts or whatever that are expensive. You know, just stuff or whatever. But again, this keeps me independent. There may be a time where I need to, I guess, like do stuff, but hopefully by then I'll have made enough of an impact to prove that I am about this shit and I'm not LARPing. The other thing is that, like, I know why I'm doing this, right? I have a very specific reason why I'm doing this. I identified a problem. I identified that Asian people are basically seen as Jews in Germany 100 years ago. And they're seen as the same way that the Soviet Union and Jews were seen in the 1920s, 1930s. That's the way Asian Americans are seen in today, and China, right? The relation is exactly the same, in my opinion. This is a conclusion I came up with in 2021. And so from that point on, I was like, I know what I'm fighting for. right? These other fucking whiteoids, you know, especially in infrared, especially in RTSG, they're fucking petty bourgeois LARPs who've never known actual real struggle. I could tell you that for a fucking fact. Like, every Korean in the fucking world is 1 or 2 generations removed from utter fucking devastation. You know? At minimum. Like, you know, obviously my parents are still alive. They're 0 generations away from that shit. Asian Americans have seen shit, right? We have something sacred to fight for, right? Like, that's how I stay grounded. That's how I stay grounded, because I know what I'm fighting for. Like, fucking, you know, fucking retarded, you know, what's his face? Fucking, what's his face? The fucking Muppet in RTSG. You know what I'm talking about. The fucking skinny, tall Muppet. God, I fucking forgot his name now. Now it's gonna bother me. I gotta find out what his name is. Fuck, what's his name? No, Fagalus is not an official member of RTSG. He was probably behind the scenes, though. God. See, this is how much I don't fucking even care about this shit. I don't even fucking remember their names. But it is irking me. I need God, what was his name? He's a Muppet. Fucking God. Does anyone here? Come on. Starside, help me out here. You know what I'm talking about. Well, even their fucking underlings are Muppets, like fucking Ross, RTSG Seraph. He's a fucking piece of shit. Retard. Idea Spirit. What a fucking cheat. Rev, that's the fucking retard. Oh my god. What a fucking little bitch. I will fucking kick the shit out of Rev every day, Sunday through fucking Saturday. What a dumb bitch. Why was I talking about him again? Fuck. Now I forget why I was talking about him. Hello, new page 4723. Kim Chil, you finally made it? What do you mean finally? Oh, you had work time zone makes it hard to join the live stream. Sorry about that. I mean, we'll try to make it different time when I'm in New York. They can't have someone with MJ have undue years of Goyslop propaganda. Exactly. Jews are whites. Whites are Jews. As a Korean, I also hate retarded ass non-Asians talking shit like that. No, that's what I'm talking about. Rev, right? Rev. The fucking nerve of that guy he's like, communism is less hours of work and nothing else. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You are fucking retarded. Like, you're trying to like rich dad, poor dad, fucking communism. Get the fuck out of here. Like, Chinese people work a lot. Chinese people our age, they work a fuck ton. All right? It's not like communism means everyone stops working, you dumb fucking retard. Just says the same fucking bullshit slogans all the fucking time. And it's like, you're first of all, it's annoying and stupid and fucking like gobbles like propaganda. And second of all, it's wrong and incorrect. You know, shit like Stalin was never wrong or whatever. Like, it's like, shut the fuck up. God, I fucking hate Rev. He's a piece of shit. Psychopath piece of fucking Muppet. Anyway. Remember when RTSG had that fucking Nazi bitch too? Who was on my ass? Fucking, God. Fucking, what's her face? God. Frau SS, sleeper cell. Frau sleeper cell. You know, I'll just fucking come out with it. Idea spirit, Frau sleeper cell, you know, Denver Hoja, you know, fucking Douglas Spader, all you fucks, you know. All these fucking whiteoids or these whiteoid glazing bitches like Idea. That fucking piece of shit. Get the fuck out of here. Well, it's not like they're in the ACP anymore either. Oh, man. That's the thing, you know. That's the thing with me, you know. Like, people should never fuck with me because even if you manage to get a lick in, I will make sure you're fucking destroyed. That's how I fucking operate. If you fucking try it with me and you think I'm not going to fucking, like, go 100x on you, you're fucking wrong. Like, you don't know how crazy Korean... Like, what do you think? Why do you think we fucking were the first people to back the fuck up America, right? We're the first people to be like, we don't give a fuck. You know? I guess Japan was the first people to say we don't give a fuck. But still, they had a lot more shit, right? And in the Korean War, they were bombed. Well, I guess by then Chinese forces were helping us. But we were the first people to be like, fuck that. Fuck these Americans. We don't give a shit. We're taking this shit. You don't get that with soft-ass bitches. And these fucking whiteoids and, you know, fucking infrared and RTSG, they think they could fucking push me around like I'm fucking whatever, like a fucking stereotype Asian. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my face. It's just so fucking funny how they, like, post pictures, but they just look like fucking Muppets. Like, are you kidding me, man? God, but like last year at the convention, God, I gotta find this fucking photo. Actually, it's not worth it. I don't even know August. I guess like he's like the silent partner. I don't know. I only know like Rev, Idea Spirit, Frau Sleeper Cell, I guess fucking RTSG Seraph or Gyopo Seraph or whatever the fuck. That guy is fucking LARP too. He's petty bourgeois as well. All these fucking guys are LARPs. I don't know why you guys like think they're fucking smart too. Their analysis is so fucking terrible. It's like, what do you guys add? If your analysis was actually relevant and good, how do you not have... Again, I ask you, in the past year, how many people have you recruited? I think that number is actually negative, possibly. Yikes. Yikes, Magoo. Like, you had all these fucking, you know, obviously, the big thing was Jackson Hinkle getting 3 million followers from 10/7, right? He only had like 200,000 followers before that, but once 10/7 hit, because he was one of the first people to jump on that wagon, he got a shit ton of followers. But 3 million followers and the party is still like minuscule. What the fuck are you guys doing? Like, clearly whatever you're doing is not working. But let's just ignore the guy who's pointing all that out, right? Because Lenin himself, it's funny because they were all making fun of Hassan today, right? Hassan had this book called "What Is to Be Done" by Lenin. He was reading it, right? Ostensibly, it's a book that Lenin wrote in 1902, I believe, right before he created the Bolsheviks, and was splitting from the RSDLP, which was the Marxist-Leninist Party at the time. And it's funny because Lenin is basically like, what is to be done in this when he basically says, stuff like, we need to be serious about this shit. We can't, be like these economists. We can't be like these fucking anarchists, terrorists, or whatever. What is to be done, right? And one of the main things he says is like, later on too, he says later on, a party that does not self-criticize is not a serious party, right? There has been no self-critique of the ACP by the EB at all. They do not take criticism. They run it like fucking retards. And it's just like it's a fucking LARP fest. I don't know how else to fucking say it. Like, Asians are about results, material. What are the material results? Where are the fucking recruits? Where are the fucking numbers? What are we fucking doing? Writing like 5,000 word screeds about why we hate women? Like, you see that shit on the RTSG? Like this 5,000 word screed about like feminism and shit. It's like, shut the fuck up. God. Anyway. Whites tried erasing Korean civilization 70 years ago, and now they are nervous about DPRK having the power to fight back. Well, Japs should be equally as nervous, I think. Working title is the end goal. To get there, you have to work your ass off, and Asians surely did. Podcasts about incel theory. Wait, what? What is podcasts about incel theory? Koreans are not nice like Chinese or fake polite like Japs. Their reputation is indeed real. Yeah. Koreans are like New York, and Japs are like LA, We may not be nice, we may not, be so welcoming in the, in the street. But if you get to know us, we're like loyal as fuck. But in LA, everyone's nice, but nobody fucking cares, gives a shit. Wait, they had a podcast about incel theory. What is incel theory? What the fuck is... Oh my god. Oh my dear lord. Are you kidding me? Oh god, now I gotta look this shit up. Oh god. Their first podcast was about incel theory? I mean, that's why I'm moving back to NYC, right? Oh god, where is this podcast? I'm not even seeing it on there. Apparently Seraph is editor-in-chief now. Mac is a Croatian editor. I don't even see... Is August still in this? Doesn't seem like it. But where's their fucking podcast? Wait, Exodus, can you just TLDR what the incel theory is about? I don't know if I really want to listen. There's 2 parts? This is a 2-part podcast? I mean, you guys know what RTSG comes from, right? RTSG is real-time strategy game. And you know why I think fucking Homophagulus is behind all of it, even though he's never in it? It's because, like, Rev created RTSG in 2021, the same year that Logo had connected with Haas. Almost around the same exact time. And I searched a lot about, I did a lot of research on Homophagalists, and it turns out he was very into video games and whatever on Reddit during Gamergate. Which is very interesting because he did talk about StarCraft and real-time strategy games. So I'm like, oh, I see where this is coming from. Because like Gen Z people like Rev or Seraph or whatever, they're not playing fucking StarCraft. You know? Our real-time strategy games have not been really popular among Gen Z people. So I'm like, where did that come from? Oh, it must be this fucking Homophagalist. You know? I did not listen past the first 2 minutes. I mean, it's just kind of like, what are we fucking talking about right now? What is this fucking the moment? All right, next time we're going to listen to the first 5 minutes of this next time, and we're gonna fucking roast the shit out of this fucking God. And that's the thing. Like people like RTSG or whatever or Homophagalists, you know what they are? Like the people who joined Infrared but aren't in part of the party. There's a lot of people in Infrared who aren't part of the party, right? You know what these people are? Or there's a lot of cadre too who are part of Infrared who don't do fucking jack shit because they don't have to do jack shit because they can just fucking do whatever and remain cadre. Right? You know what these people are? They're just waiting for the ACP to blow up so they can join the bandwagon and be like, oh, we're commissars now, you know? Fucking, that's what's fucking going on. That's why Homophagalists never joined. He is never going to join unless the ACP is actually something. You can take that to the fucking bank. He's not gonna fucking build shit. You think he's on the fucking thing to build something? No, he's just there to wreck and fucking absorb and fucking whatever for his own fucking, you know, trying to sell his retarded books or whatever. I don't even know if he's still trying to do that, but Jesus. Oh, and you know how you can tell any one of his sock puppets? Actually, I don't want to say it out loud because he might stop doing it. So I need to keep my tell. Are these motherfuckers like Yellow Flash 2 in Geeks and Gamer style fuckwads? No idea what they are. All right. Well, you know. Well, good to know that they're making such scintillating content, I suppose. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. All right. I guess I've been yapping enough. Unless anyone has anything else to ask me, I'm going to end. But yeah. Going to definitely make the WMA video this month. So help me God. I did finish the Reason chapter, so I'm at a good point of stopping my Hegel research for now. And I could just focus all my energies on writing. All right, then. Yankee Tanky also called Logo a petty bouge for not joining the party, too. He's still in at Philly chapter, I think. Wait. He did? What happened there, Starside? Like, was this on Twitter or was this on like one of the infrared streams? And how did he react to that? He must not definitely was not happy when I called his tastes Miyazaki fucking dick sucking bourgeois. So I'm sure he was not happy about that comment. But it's like, what does Logo do? He's a stay-at-home dad who literally does nothing else but tweet all day. He's got, 3 or 4 sock puppets, and they all have like fucking insane amount of tweet. Like I have an insane amount of tweets. Like I have like 99.1k posts. But if you add up fucking Logos posts, first of all, he has 270K. And that's after he deleted 4 years of fucking posts from 2012 to 2016. Weird why you would delete all those tweets, right? But anyway, he has 200K, more tweets than I do on his main. And then let's see fucking Volk Vulture. Yep, he's Volk Vulture 1, by the way, in case you didn't know. 222K posts. 222 tweets. All right? And that was like for 4 years. All right? What else we got? We got Israelis, obviously. Because what would he be without his anti-Semitic handle? Israelis. That has 55.6K posts. Probably because it's a new one, because he was whatever. Let's see. So 55.6. Let's see. 55.6 plus 222. 270. And let's assume half was of his original was. So that's 400K tweets in the past like 4 or 5 years. So that's like 100K tweets a year, right? And that's only the sock puppets I know about. I'm sure he has 2 or 3 more, right? And so 100K tweets. So what's 100K divided by to 273 tweets a day. That's assuming he takes no days off, right? So assuming he takes a day off every now and then, let's round it up to 300 tweets a day. And if we just kind of like say, let's say it's 6 hours during the day he's tweeting, right? So 100K, 300 tweets a day, 6 hours. So that's 6 hours, 50 tweets. That's like 1 tweet a minute. All this guy does is fucking tweet. 1 tweet a fucking minute. Doesn't fucking join a party. He's a fucking stay-at-home dad. Fucking 1 tweet a minute. Literally. Like, this is what he does all fucking day. And you're telling me that he's a fucking Marxist Get the fuck out of my face. Like, yes, I know I tweet a lot. But I don't even tweet a fraction of what this fucking retard does. And like, what is he still working on this non-existent 3rd book or whatever, since his second book, first 2 books sucked ass? Like, what else does he fucking even do? I'm such a girl dad. Oh. And he fucking looks like an incel. Like, all these RTSG people, they just look like fucking groypers. Like, they look like groypers. They're like, it's so funny when they like make photos making fun of groypers. I'm like, bro. Bro. Self-awareness? It's like, why are you using ad hominems? You know? That's the whole funny part about the Pol Pot glasses wearer thing or whatever. I'm like, you guys are that. You guys are the ultimate glasses wearers. Like Homo Fagalus is literally like fucking Taiwanese Trotsky. These people are literally wearing glasses. And then he fucking does this like weird shit with his beard all the time. Like he's fucking Gandalf or whatever. What the fuck are you doing? Fucking stimming like an obvious autist, saying like, I'm not autistic. Yeah, you are, you dumb fuck. You're definitely not neurotypical, that's for sure, Mr. Fagalus. God. Anyway, did not go well. Made a Twitter space. Who made a Twitter space? Did it Yankee Tanky made a Twitter? He made a whole Twitter space about that. That's kind of intense. I kind of didn't like Yankee Tanky, but now I'm kind of warming up to him. Do you think Asian men are the most oppressed group in the West? And if so, what is their end game? It depends on what you mean by oppressed. I mean, I would say all things being equal, yes. Like, if you had a poor Asian man and let's say a black Asian man or a Hispanic Asian man, I mean, a poor black man or a poor Hispanic man, the odds are that poor Hispanic or poor black man will have more available, like, social services available, because, like, there's a stereotype that Asian people are all rich, so that Asian person actually gets shafted. That's been a problem for poor Asian people in America. They literally get rejected for these things because they're like, oh, you're Asian, you can't be poor, some shit. So in the sense that, like, all things being equal, but that's also the thing too, because it doesn't show up as we're being oppressed because it seems like we're all rich and doing well. But they don't tell you that the Hart-Celler Act also selected the best and brightest. They didn't just fucking take Joe Schmo off the streets of fucking Taipei or Seoul or whatever. You know, they didn't just take, you know, random nobody off the street and let them come to America and fucking, you had to be, like, very well educated, or you need to have cash, or you need to have proof or that you would be able to start a business, right? This was the requirement of the Hart-Celler Act of 1965. And so they literally chose the best of us, right? That's a brain drain. So yes, while we are doing well, quote unquote, like, the oppression, that's why the oppression doesn't seem like it's there, because, like, the invisible poor people, well, nobody cares about that, so no one's writing news stories about the poor Asian person who's not on welfare or gets rejected for welfare and just dies, right? But then, like, the rich Asian American who's not really even coming from, like, that much wealth, but is, you know, upper middle class because of the good job that they have, well, that's only because they're choosing the best of the Asians to come here. So it's like, if you chose the best of the whites, then of course, like, they're not going to be, if you chose the best of the black people, then of course it's not going to seem like they're oppressed. If you just chose, like, the NBA or celebrities or, you know, rich black people, you'd be like, yeah, they're fine, right? That's why we don't seem like we're oppressed. But I would say, ever since fucking the civil rights movement, that's when the script flipped, right? Because, like, obviously there was Jim Crow. There weren't even any Asian people in America to, like, we were 0.5%. So there was no Asian people to be oppressive towards, right? The oppression was abroad, right? The oppression was imperialism. So in that sense, if we're talking about domestic oppression, then that's a different conversation. But overall, if we're talking about imperialism as well, then yeah, of course, because, like, we were literally fucking killed. Millions of people of us were killed, and Americans didn't fucking even blink an eye and say that was bad or anything. They were just kind of like, oh, I guess we lost the Vietnam War, didn't win. That sucks for us. You know, that's the fucking psychopath mind of the average whiteoid. That's why, like, when you say Asians are oppressed, it's like, no, you aren't. You guys are so rich and, you know, crazy rich Asians, and you're taking our jobs, and you're not even, like, creative, and blah blah blah. All this fucking whiteoid nonsense, right? But the fact of the matter is, all else being equal, like, if a person had the same skill and the same, like, class level or whatever, if they're Asian, that's like, you're fucked. You're, like, totally fucked. And that's why a lot of us have anxiety, because, like, we know that, and we know that in order to survive, we have to get into these really good colleges so we can get pretty good jobs and not have to worry about being poor and whatever, and being invisibled or, soft genocided. Like, we were literally soft genocided in the 1800s. After building the railroads, they were like, well, we don't want any more Chinamen here. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce the Chinese Exclusion Act, the Page Act, preventing any Chinese woman from coming to California. And then in 1924, we're going to pass another immigration act to ban anyone from Asia ever because of communism, because Red Scare and all that stuff. So there you go. I guess, yeah, we are the most oppressed group in the West because we represent the only threat Western imperialism still has, right? It's like, yeah, obviously there's interpersonal racism against black people in the South. Obviously, I'm not denying that, but those people don't like Asian people either. There's people that get killed and lynched all the time that are Asian in the Midwest and Middle America, especially the fucking Midwest. Midwest is like Nazi fucking Germany for Asians. So again, it's a very domestically, it's a harder question to answer, but internationally it's not, right? It's all anti-Asian Nazism all day, every day, and that also does spill over domestically. Like, you have black people killing Asian people and no one doing anything about it. That's white supremacy, right? Because white liberals knew that outcome was probably going to happen, and so I blame white people and their media systems and their fucking propaganda. And but yeah, it's a free-for-all, because the thing about Asian people is that no one likes Asian people. Not even fucking Asians. Like, all these fucking, like, San Francisco Bay Area Asians, all these fucking white-oid glazing Asians, they just hate themselves so much. We don't even have our own people defending us, right? This is fucking in 2020, 2021, all these fucking boba liberal fucking pieces of shit all stayed silent about black on Asian crimes because they were fucking pieces of shit. Scum. They're all fucking white-oid glazing retards. Anyway. I reckon Asians are kind of like Goyams to the American whites. Since they're good at the jobs the whites don't want to do, and they can get an Asian woman if white woman isn't doable, etc. Actually, that's a good way of putting it, actually. We are the Goyam. We're the Goyam of American whites. That's actually pretty insightful. Josh Johnson 2368. Are you Asian yourself? I'm assuming not, since Johnson is your last name. But that's actually pretty insightful. I'll have to think about that a little bit more. They fear Asian men the most, for sure. And that's... the proof is in the pudding, right? Like, who are the only people to take the fight to white people, right? Like, for all their fucking faults, the Japs did attack Pearl Harbor. I give them props for that. I'm not gonna lie. I give the Japs props for trying it, A for effort, C for execution, and F for expecting them not to fucking do anything about it. F for idea. F for idea. A for effort, though, A for effort. And then in Korea, right? Obviously, we didn't fucking win, but, I'm sure MacArthur didn't want to be driven back to the 38th after going all the way almost to the Yalu and taking the entire country, right? That was a bad outcome. And then obviously Vietnam. And then, like, if you consider West, the Middle East, West Asia, they took a bunch of L's there too, right? The Asian man, right? The West Asian man in Afghanistan. They did 20 years and didn't do jack shit, apparently. Apparently, the white Soviets, the white communists, didn't do anything there either. So Afghanistan has Taliban can kind of pat themselves on the backs for fighting the whiteoids. Yeah, I am not a Caucasian man, IRL. Oh, okay. But you're not an Asian man either, right? I don't think. Exodus. What's so funny? I don't even know what's funny. What am I talking about? God, maybe I should lay off the weed. All right, I gotta quit for reals this time. It's already 2.5 hours. But I'll see you guys on Sunday. But yeah, Pearl Harbor. Unfortunately, I am back on the weed. It's mostly for my mental health and depression, and probably not healthy in those regards either. But that's what I'm doing. Afghans aren't Asians. No. Yeah. Well, sorry to disappoint. But yeah. Alrighty. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.